The World Poker Tour. The biggest games, the greatest players, and the largest payouts on the planet. The WPT is a series of international high-stakes poker tournaments that can turn amateur players into millionaires and make professionals into superstars. With millions of dollars on the line, it's time for these 6 players to live the dream of fame, fortune, and the one thing money can't buy, a WPT title. Tonight on the World Poker Tour.
From the Vegas Strip, the Bellagio Cup runneth over with cash, as one lucky poker player is set to win the lion's share of $5.1 million, and it all starts now, so shuffle up and deal.
Hi everyone, welcome to Las Vegas. We're just moments away from the start of the final table of Bellagio Cup 3. I'm Mike Sexton.
And I'm Vince Van Patten. And Mike, the Bellagio is really like the Yankee Stadium of poker. I mean, the biggest players play in the biggest cash games in the world on a regular basis here. Now, the Bellagio Cup has been an untelevised event for the first 2 seasons, but now we decided to televise it, and 535 players showed up to take this title.
And it was a terrific international field of players with mega bucks on the line here.
Oh, man, ridiculous money on the World Poker Tour, and tonight is no exception. 6 players going after a whopping $1.3 million first-place prize.
And what a wild and fun, entertaining table this should be tonight. It's a trash talker's paradise. Folks, if you don't like trash talking, turn your volume down, because we've got it in spades here tonight, led by the guy in second chip position, none other than Mike the Mouse Mattisau.
Yeah, man, let's go!
Well, Mike, a very quiet, unassuming man. But I'll tell you something. Kevin Saul, who is the chip leader, they say he can out-talk Mattisau. We also have 4 excellent players going after the title, including Danny Wong.
Well, Danny Wong's been here before. Danny went out in 6th place at his last WPT final table.
Well, the yapping and the trapping is about to begin. Let's go watch him play. All right, let's talk about the structure. The ante's at $3,000. The blinds are going to be $12,000 and $24,000 to start. This is the Bellagio Cup 3, and the first time that we're actually going to televise this. Last year, Danny Wong was the runner-up in this event.
He's made it back to this final table looking to move up a notch. Only he and Mike Mattisau have been at WPT final tables before. The other 4 guys, it's their first time.
Cards have been dealt. It's going to be on the Maniac, Shane Schleger. He quickly folds.
Around to the chip leader, poker pro from Forest Park, Illinois, Kevin Saul. He's led this tournament wire to wire, something that is rarely done on the World Poker Tour.
He's going to make a raise, going up to $76,000. Eric quickly folding behind him.
Round to the Russian, Konstantin Puchkov. He lays his hand down.
Now the Mike the Mouth going away. Only one to beat is Danny Wong in the big blind with a Jack-7.
Well, it's not the kind of hand you like to contest the chip leader with. And Danny's going to lay it down. So there you have it. Kevin Saul taking down pot number 1.
Very impressive. With just ace high, puts the big chips in. The one thing that doesn't go with his outfit, I think the cap that he has on looks like he stole it off a giant or something. It just doesn't fit his head.
Vince, he plays a lot on the internet. He's actually played 9 WPT events. This is his first cash. It's going to be a pretty good payday, and his parents are here to watch him tonight. At least his mom is.
That has got to be thrilling. But we do have the Mouth at the table, yapping it up a little bit. But Kevin Saul is supposed to be a great talker at the table as well. We will see. Action's going to be on the Russian, Konstantin Puchkov. Now, he is a horse owner. He owns trotters in Russia.
First time he's been to the United States.
He folds. And now Mike the Mouth with a 6-5. Folds his hand into Danny Wong with an ace-4 in late position. He's going to pop it up.
Yep, Danny's going to make it $75,000 to go, but sitting right behind him, Shane Schleger picks up an ace-king suited. Ace-king of spades.
Big slick for the Maniac.
220.
He is going to re-raise. He's coming over the top. Makes it $220,000 to go.
Okay, big pot developing here. Now Kevin Saul with the Doyle Brunson in hand, 10 deuce, lays it down. And in the big blind, Eric.
The amateur Eric Paniotto with 2 8s. Quickly lays him down after the pot's been raised and re-raised.
Now it's back on Danny, who tried to make a move there with just ace-4.
Oh, believe me, you just don't like it at all when a guy comes over the top of you and you just have ace-4 offsuit, especially if the guy's got more chips than you, like Shaniak does here.
This final table is 2 complete maniacs. They play so crazy that it's hard to put them on a hand. There's going to be fireworks.
no one's going to really want to back down from anybody. And let the war begin.
Well, Shane has Danny covered.
He is going to lay it down.
Danny went out in 6th place at his last WPT final table. He says that experience, I believe, is going to bode well for me at this final table tonight. I really think I'm grasping how to play under the bright lights now. The pressure's off a little bit for me. I think I'm going to do a lot better tonight. Let's see if he does.
So the first pot being taken by Shane Schleger, the former bike messenger, now playing professional poker for about 2.5 years.
And Vince, we should say that there's about $11 million worth of chips on the table here, and yet the blinds are only 12 and 24,000. That means this is a very deep stack tournament. Everybody's got plenty of chips to play with, so you don't have to panic. You got plenty of time to play. You can wait for hands.
And therefore, the luck factor diminishes and the talent factor gets greater.
Who's the big blind, Mike's?
Around it, Kevin Saul.
Come on in, honey.
Chip leader with an ace-8.
Well, he's a very aggressive player. We've seen that all week long. This guy's been the chip leader at the end of each day so far. Can he cross the finish line?
I raise.
Well, he's not slowing down his aggressiveness. He raises the pot here with the ace-8 offsuit, makes it 76,000 to go.
Into Eric, the pool man. He's got a pretty nice hand. Ace-queen.
And he's announced raise, Vince.
Yeah, he's going to go for the cannonball.
Eric got in this tournament by winning a $1,000 satellite.
225.
Well, he has gone up to $225,000.
He is re-raising the chip leader right here.
The Russian folding, as does Mouth. Back around to Q-tip.
Now, Vince, Kevin has a lot of chips, way more than anybody else at the table, but still, if you're a professional player, you give an amateur player credit when he comes over the top of you and makes a raise, and you just wouldn't think the guy'd want to fool around with an ace-8 offsuit against this style of player.
This is kind of like the last hand. Danny Wong having to fold his ace-4. Ace-king pushing him around. Will this push around the chip leader?
Well, as we said, Kevin's got plenty of chips, and he's going to gamble here, Vince. He's going to make the call.
Yep.
So a very daring play here by Kevin Saul. It's something you can do when you're sitting on well over $4 million worth of chips, and nobody else has $2 million.
Here comes the flop.
Well, it's come King Jack 3. That's no help for Kevin. It gives Eric a gut shot straight draw, where 10 would make him an ace-high straight.
Kevin Saul has quickly checked it, and now the amateur player with just the ace-high, the inside straight draw. Will he do the continuation bet?
300.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, and he's betting 300,000 into the chip leader with just the gut shot straight draw.
How much you have left?
And look at the face of Kevin Saul. Disgusted. But he says, wait a second, how much you got there?
300.
That's the only thing he could be thinking about doing in my mind here is coming over the top to try to chase Eric out of this pot.
Yeah, but look at Pool Man. He's very aggressive with the chips. Looking brave there.
Well, he does look confident as he's stacking up his chips. He's not saying anything, though, Vince.
Just got ace-high. I know he's not. That's a professional move. Don't give him much. Don't tell him much. Let them look for themselves.
Just put your chips out there. Let the dealer or somebody count them down and tell him how much you get. Will Kevin pull the trigger here and come over the top? Nope, he's going to lay it down. Well, I'll say one thing. The amateur played that hand pretty good, Vince. He raised before the flop. He made the continuation bet on the flop against the chip leader, and he's taking down the pot.
Rakes in the chips, looking very confident, even though underneath you have to be quivering. 6 players remain here at the Bellagio Cup 3. Stay tuned. We're coming back for more action in just a few moments.
Until I have the track record to trash these live pros,
Shut up, Mike.
You couldn't lose.
Don't rub your unluckiness off on me.
then I'm not going to say another bad thing about how so-and-so plays so bad. This is my chance to give myself the track record and the freedom to make whatever comments I want about how terrible they play.
Is he bluffing? I think he's trying to bluff me here. I bet that ace hit. What is he thinking? What is he trying? When the ace came off on 4th Street, he played with his chips. 13 to 1, 12 to 1, 16 to 4 to 1, 8 to 2. Makes my 2 pair good unless I'm drawing dead. I like my chances. I'm all in. We play at FullTiltPoker.com.
Mattisau is playing fantastic. He really is. I think we have a mutual respect for each other.
I just think Kevin Saul doesn't have a clue.
Not yet.
You are just an amazing specimen.
If he thinks he's just going to raise every single hand, he might be seeing the door in 5th place.
Welcome back to Bellagio in Las Vegas. We are watching the Bellagio Cup number 3. The WPT update reporter, Kimberly Lansing, has been following the action all week long, and right now she's up to talk to Layla.
Thanks, guys. Kimberly, you've been following this since day one. What's the story of the tournament in your eyes?
I really think the story is Mike Matusow. He hasn't been on a WPT final table in a long time, and since day one, he's been saying, I am going to win this thing. However, he's got his work cut out for him. There's a lot of really good players at this table.
What about Kevin? What do you think of Kevin Saul?
Kevin is a very well-known internet player. He's really a wild card because you never know what he's going to play. And it's been great watching him the past few days.
Well, this is poker and anything can happen. Let's get back to the game.
And right now, Kevin Saul has over $4 million. And I'll tell you something, any other job, if you manipulate others, you know, your job could be in question. But in poker, it not only gets rewarded, it gets respected.
Well, in second chip position is Shane Schleger. He's got a little over 1.9 million. Right behind him, Mike Matusow. The other guys all have well over 900,000 in chips. Still anybody's game, but you got to say, Kevin Saul's in command right now.
And it's on him right now, and he looks down at a king-jack offsuit.
And here he is under the gun. He's going to raise it. Makes it 77,000 to go.
And the pool man goes out, as does the Russian. Mike the Mouth with ace-10 of diamonds.
Big
Gonna
lay
fold.
down.
Yeah.
But a wise lay down by Matusow because Danny Wong has picked up 2 aces in the small blind. Against the chip leader. He is loving this.
He's got the weapons of mass destruction here.
Well, you see him taking his time. We know he's going to play this hand. The question is, does he want to re-raise right here like most people would do with 2 aces in this spot? But knowing your opponent is a very aggressive player and is going to bet all the time, do you want to walk the dog, as we say? Would you want to call here and perhaps check and just let him keep betting at the pot?
Well, you also got a guy in the big blind, Shane Maniac. So you might want to get aggressive here.
Well, that's the problem. If you just make this call, it certainly gives the big blind the correct pot odds to make a call if he's got any kind of hand.
He's going to massage the hand.
Well, Danny does not re-raise with 2 aces. Shane goes out.
How much do you have about?
So Danny
Just a
Wong
rough
with the 2
estimate,
aces.
that's all.
Kevin Saul with the king-jack.
Kevin says, how much you got, just in case I like the flop.
Over 800.
Takes a peek. Here comes the flop.
And the flop comes 8-7-4 with 2 diamonds. No help to either player.
Yeah, pretty uneventful. And it's on Danny first.
Well, Danny, of course, way out front with the 2 aces. Now, Vince, you would think that by just calling pre-flop, you would automatically check on the flop. It wouldn't matter what came out there, in hopes that your opponent fired at the pot.
Danny knows that. Is he thinking the reverse strategy that maybe if I bet, I'll look marginal and this guy will take the bait?
Well, you're right, Vince. It does look like he's going to bet. And in fact, that's what he's doing. He's betting 135,000 here. Right into the aggressive Kevin Saul.
Now, usually if you have a huge hand on the flop, you're not going to bet that. So it's double reverse psychology going on here by Danny Wong.
Well, Kevin Saul has none of this flop. He's got a king-jack offsuit. Flop has just come 8 high, and his opponent has let out and bet 135,000.
Oh, and he's going to get the action for the wise bet. Very tricky bet. I like the bet.
Well, Kevin is making the call here, Vince, with just a king high.
Splash time here, Bellagio. 10 of hearts on the turn. Gives Kevin an inside straight draw.
Well, action's back on Danny. Now, if I was Danny, I'd load up the leather a little bit more here on this street. You'd be fearful your opponent had some kind of straight or flush draw here. You just have 1 pair, even though they're 2 aces. You don't want to give your opponent the proper pot odds to make a call in this situation.
And finally he puts out some money. It's about 225,000.
Well, it's a little less than half the pot size here.
You have about 500 behind?
So it's not a big bet by any means.
About what it looks like.
Kevin says, how much more have you got?
Oh, boy.
I'm all in.
Oh, there he goes over the top.
I'd call.
He's gone all in over the top. Danny quickly calling him with the 2 aces.
Well, Danny just set him up beautifully throughout this hand.
I knew it.
Brilliantly done.
And Vince, a very puzzling bet, because once he's moved all in, his opponent's getting about 3-to-1 odds on his money. So chances are he's going to call you with whatever he's got if he's let out this pot twice. So a peculiar time to make an all-in bet here by Kevin Saul. But
Danny kept betting like he was marginal. Might have nothing. Kevin put him on nothing, but he was wrong. And right now, he might have to pay for it.
I told you, he just can't help himself.
Kevin's the cat with 9 lives. He'll win this pot.
Well, he's had 150 lives in 3 days. I'm sure he can find another one.
No, this is my first misstep, Mike. I knew he had aces, too.
2 aces.
Danny Wong, obviously, a little fearful. Doesn't want to go out 6 one more time.
Well, anybody else, he wouldn't be sweating. But against Kevin, he knows he's like 50-50.
Can Kevin Saul catch the miracle 9? Last card, Fifth Street coming up.
It's a 6. So Danny Wong is going to double up. He gives it the little fist right there. And Vince, that's a pretty big hit for Kevin Saul. I mean, he just picked the wrong time to make a move here, and he took about $1 million hit on that hand.
Well, he was set up. He was rate shaked and baked by Danny Wong. He deserves the credit. Well done.
That's hand, Danny.
Thanks. This ain't the internet, son.
I mean, he has given it to him already.
They wouldn't fold the aces there on the internet either.
And for the first time tonight, Kevin Saul taking a hit there.
Welcome to Poker 101.
Welcome back to the World Poker Tour. I'm Mike Sexton along with Vince Van Patten, and we're in Las Vegas for Bellagio Cup 3.
And our chip leader, Kevin Saul, just took $1 million hit there, doubling up Danny Wong. And Layla's standing by with Kevin's good buddy. See what he has to say.
Hey guys, I'm here with professional poker player Gavin Griffin, who's here supporting Kevin Saul tonight, huh?
Yep, that's right. Kevin and I have known each other for, I don't know.
A long time.
A long time, yeah.
And I know Mike the Mouth was saying, I don't think he's going to make it. You know, he's too crazy and unpredictable. You know, what do you have to say to Mike's comments to that?
Mike says the same thing about me. So Kevin and I have a very similar style. We're going to keep you excited, I guess is a good way to put it. So anytime he's got a lot of chips, he's a favorite.
Vince, it seems like Kevin wants to be involved in every pot. He's certainly got the chips to do it. Let's see if he keeps the pressure on.
Back down to the table. It's going to be on the mouth.
Mike Matusow now looks down to 2 9s.
Raise. Caps his cards here, and chips are coming out.
Well, he's going to raise it. Makes it $75,000 to go.
Into Danny Wong with a King 4. He won't play.
Over to Shaniak. He lays down.
And in the small blind, Kevin Saul with an Ace 5 now. Been chipped away. He is tilting like a 3-legged pony, it looks like right now.
He's blown back over $1 million in chips, but remember, he started with a massive chip lead over the second place guy, who was Mike Matusow. He's making a call of a raise here with an Ace-5 offsuit out of position.
That is right. The pool man going out behind him with Ace-4, so it is two-way action.
Well, just not the kind of hand I would think you want to get involved with out of position. But Kevin's trying to get those chips back. He just blew a minute ago. See if it works. Well, he's flopped bottom pair, but look at this. Mike Matusow has flopped 3 9s. Kevin quickly checks.
And the mouth here, so excited. Coming out with a bet of $125,000. Trying to make it appear like the continuation bet. And he's going to get called.
Kevin calls him with bottom pair.
And a deuce on the turn. No help to either player. Quickly checked by Kevin.
Vince, he's drawing dead here. No card he can catch to win this pot.
Look at the mouth has become very quiet with his 3 9s.
And with a 2-card straight and a 2-card flush on the board, no way Matusow is going to give him a free card here, especially after the guy called a bet on the flop. And Matusow does bet. This time it's $300,000.
Well, the beauty of it looks like it's just a continuation bet after the flop. But we know it was a huge flop for him. And now on the turn, $300,000.
Vince, Kevin knows that Matusow very capable of making a move here if he didn't have a hand. That's what he's thinking about. Are my 2 5s the best hand? Does this guy have some kind of straight draw? Could he have a king queen or a queen jack in his hand? Maybe he's just betting an ace king. He could have a diamond flush draw.
I call.
He's going to make the call with the 2 5s.
Yeah, continuing the contributions here.
Well, he's the kind of guy that obviously doesn't like to get bluffed out of pots. So he's going to make the call here. Drawing completely dead. Well, 8 of clubs comes off. It does make a potential straight out there now. So neither player can be real crazy about that card.
Well, Kevin has checked it.
You just can't imagine you're going to check a set here. After the guys called you on the flop and the turn, and Mattisau bets 300,000 into a pot that's got over $1 million in it.
And Kevin just paid him off.
And Mattisau claps for himself. Very happy with the way he played that pot.
And I'll tell you something, the Q-tip has just got waxed right there.
Poker's so fun.
Poker, poker, it's all fun. After an hour, you need a gun.
And I got to tell you, Vince, I'm not crazy about the way Kevin's played either one of those last 2 pots. I mean, he tried to make a move on Danny, but he tried it when his opponent was getting huge pot odds in that situation. Tried to make a stone bluff, and on this particular hand, to call a raise with an ace-5 out of position, just gambling to me.
What an exciting time for the mouth. Mike Mattisau with a shot of $1.3 million first place prize here tonight.
Well, the money's nice, but I know Mike Mattisau is obsessed
Time you don't have the chip lead in the tournament.
with wanting to win a WPT title, Vince. All his buddies have got one, and he's dying to get one. Great shot to do it tonight.
Back to the table into Shane Schleger. He's got a 10-9.
No, not at all.
He is going to raise it up front here.
Huh.
I was just trying to make you aware of it.
In early position with a 10-9 offsuit.
Into the soul, man. He's got a queen 10, and he's casually going to call it.
Well, Vince, it's obvious this guy's idol is Gus Hansen. He likes every 2 cards he sees, this guy.
All right, pool man out. The Russian goes away. The mouth.
Oh, yeah, there's another idiot. Well, you know he don't have it.
Well, he's not going to shut up, but he's going to go out. So two-way action.
Well, as the cards lie, Kevin has Shane dominated here. He's got queen 10. Shane has 10-9. Let's see how this pot develops. Now flop comes queen, jack, deuce with 2 spades. Shane has flopped an open-end straight draw and checks.
Yes, he does. Hitting top pair right there. Kevin Saul.
Well, it's a nice flop for Kevin. And he's going to bet it. 121,000.
Into Shaniak.
You still got me covered, right?
I have a little over $2 million.
Guys, seen how many chips have disappeared in the last few minutes? Your stack, sir.
It's a little surprised Shane didn't make the continuation bet on the flop there with the open-end straight draw, but
and the bet is 121.
Shane has been watching the last 2 pots. He's seen Kevin playing every hand and playing him a little wildly here, so he's going to make the call here with the open-end straight draw. So right now, Kevin out front with the 2 queens. Shane hoping to catch the straight, and he does it, Vince.
Wow.
The Joker, the dream card for the Shaniak here. The miracle card on the turn, and he checks. Vince, this time Kevin has a real hand. He's got top pair with a gut shot straight draw. I wouldn't give the guy a free card here either.
Well, he is our tilting victim right now because he has bet $250,000.
Hey, look at this, Vince. Shane looking back at his hand, wants to make sure he has the 10-9, the very best hand possible right now. The question is, how does he want to play it? He's seen that Kevin hasn't laid down a hand yet. When somebody comes over the top of him, it seems like he plays every pot, so
700.
he is going to raise it himself right here. Makes it 700,000 to go. And he's seen Kevin call every raise that's been made so far tonight. Maybe he'll call this one. That's what Shane's thinking.
How much do you have left, Shane?
I'll tell you one thing. There's no way you're going to put your opponent on a 10-9 offsuit when the guy raised an early position here before the flop. You're not going to think he has a straight. So at worst, you're going to think a 9 is going to win this pot for you.
Just
because it'll give you a straight.
And 70,000.
Here's a situation where he's drawing dead to win the pot. He could tie it if a 9 comes off. But right now it's another 450,000 to him. And if he puts this in, or worse, comes over the top of his opponent right now, our former massive chip leader could just as quickly find himself on the short stack here.
Yeah, this is complete crash and burn time here for Kevin Saul. Evelyn Ing in the audience, great player herself, enjoying this massacre, so to speak.
You said 1,070,000?
Under 1.1.
Well, if you could make this lay down, this would be the lay down of the week. Very strong. You're tilting, you're steaming, but you don't want to make another horrible move on top of the bad ones you've already made. Yo, boy, he's going to tilt it off some more.
Well, just a strange play. Vince's opponent raised before the flop. He checked and called on the flop, and now he's check raised on the turn. It's hard to believe that 2 queens could be good in this situation, the way this hand was played.
In dire straits right now. River card coming up.
Ace of spade, putting 3 spades on the board now.
Could be a scared card. And yes, they both check it.
Straight.
And yes, the straight is going to win for Shane.
Vince, he was just afraid to bet when the potential flush card came off.
Your dad, yeah. I thought that. What else could he
You
have?
think I love them? Just want a low red.
Shane Schlager, he's got talking chips now. He's the chip leader here.
Shane, the maniac, 9-10 splashing around, makes it happen.
I was really lost throughout my 20s and did all kinds of odd crap jobs. I waited tables, I was a bike messenger, I worked an office job. You know, the name actually helps give me an image of being a maniac way more than I really am.
And he takes down a nice pot. And Vince, in the last 3 deals, Kevin Saul has lost about $3 million in chips. Nearly $1 million in each pot. He now sits in 4th place.
Well, very chatty usually. No more. He has been silenced here. Stay tuned. We're coming back with more action from Bellagio Cup number 3 when we return for more.
Could you hold your own against world-class players?
Find out by playing online at WPT on GSN.com. Welcome back to the World Poker Tour. The Bellagio Cup 3 continues with 6 players. And right now, the chip leader, Shane, the Shaniac Schlager, he's got about $2.9 million.
And Vince, the hottest place in Las Vegas right now is under that hat of Kevin Saul. This guy's blown $3 million in about the last 3 pots. He is now in 4th place after coming to this final table as the dominating chip leader.
Mouth Madisau with about 2.7. Let's go back down to the table. It's going to be on the cap, the human Q-tip, Kevin Saul. He's got a suited connector, 6-7 of diamonds.
He may have got pounded the last 3 pots, but he's not slowing down his style. Bet $75,000.
Pool man going out, the Russian going out as well. And now Mike Madisau with Jack-10 of hearts going to make a call.
Well, Mike wanting to see a flop here. And the guy's catching bad, running bad, and playing bad. That's the guy you want to play with. Mike Madisau looking to play with him. Let's see if Danny Wong wants to play also. He looks down to 2 5s. He's going to make the call.
The Shaniac now with the San Francisco 49. Won't play that, so we have 3-way action.
So right now, everybody looking to play with Kevin. And here comes the flop. It's come 10-7-4 with 2 spades. Mike Madisau's flop top pair. Danny checks the 2 5s.
And here comes Uncle Tilty with just a pair of 7s here. He's got a bet.
And he's got 2nd pair, and he's going to bet him.
130,000. Madisau with the top pair now.
And let's see how he's going to play it. You take the conservative route and just call, or do you come over the top? Madisau opting to just call here. Well, Danny no longer thinking his 2 5s are good. At least I wouldn't think he would. He lays them down.
Mike don't want to let me win a pot while I'm at this final table.
All right, so 2-way action. 7s up against 10s.
Well, King of Hearts comes off. Kevin checks, and Madisau checks the 2 10s right behind him.
River card coming up. It's a spade.
Well, ace of spade. Neither player liking to see that card.
7.
It goes check, check. Madisau is going to win this pot with the 2 10s. And Kevin Saul continuing to leak oil here, Vince. I mean, he is really falling fast. Unbelievable. A guy could come to the final table with such a massive chip lead of $4.2 million when the 2nd place guy only had $1.8 million.
God, I love deep stack poker.
And closing in on perhaps going out in 6th place.
Well, the Q-tip is getting used
really
up here tonight.
And the thing
He's got to feel like he's a sparring partner of Mike Tyson when he was in his prime. He is getting pummeled here.
It's going to be on Eric. The pool man looks down at an awful-looking 9-6. Won't play that.
Over to the Russian, Konstantin Puchkov. He has the ace deuce of hearts.
Been very selective here tonight so far. Hasn't played a hand since the Cold War. Will he get involved in this? Yes.
Well, he's just going to limp in. He makes the call with the ace deuce. Mike Madisau with the 10-5 of clubs opts to lay it down.
And now Danny Wong with a wired pair of 4s and the button.
Well, he's in position. He can get in cheap, and he's going to make the call.
Shane going out.
You call,
now in
Danny?
the big blind, Kevin Saul, Mr. Tilt himself with a 3 deuce. Won't get fancy, but he gets to see a flop for free. So we got 3-way action.
And here comes that flop. It's come 8-8-6. No immediate help for anybody.
Kevin quickly checking, and now the Russian, nothing hitting for him. He's going to get daring. He's going to make a bet, 80,000.
And Danny Wong looking at that bet very suspiciously.
Well, the Russian has been so tight, so solid. You give him extra credit when he bets usually. But Danny, will he let this one go?
Danny with terrific poker instincts. Got to be thinking to himself, would this guy really limp in with a 6 or an 8 in his hand before the flop? He's a pretty tight player. If he had an overpair, certainly he would have raised pre-flop.
Could have a mid pair that would beat out Danny. Danny Wong's going to find out where he is. He's going to make a raise.
He makes it 220,000 to go.
Kevin Saul going out.
Kevin happy to lay down a hand finally.
Back around to the Russian.
And right now the Russian is saying, where is the vodka? I made a bet at this pot and this guy raised me. I've just got ace deuce. I don't like it.
And no, he has to lay it down.
And a nice feeler bet there. A re-raise by Danny Wong to find out where you're at. You just call there and your opponent bets again. Now you're faced with another decision as to what to do. So why not go ahead and just re-raise it? If the guy comes over the top of you again, now you can muck the 2 4s.
Well, great players at the table here tonight, but also great players in the audience. Arelibus Vulgaris, Nick Schulman, Steve Wong. Fine players.
Action's going to be on Mattisau.
He's got a miserable-looking 9-6 this time. Won't play that. Into Danny Wong, who has the same hand. Goes out.
Over to Shane Schlager now.
Fold.
He's got the 7-5, and he's going to lay it down.
And Mr. Reliable Kevin Saul with the button. He's got queen 9, and of course he's putting chips out there.
Well, I don't blame him for raising here on the button in position against 2 guys, pretty conservative players. He makes it 75,000 to go. Very quickly folds.
Yes, he does. But the Russian Constantine with a 10-8 of spades has made this call.
Yep, he wants to see a flop, and he's flopped second pair here and quickly checks.
Well, Kevin with the inside straight draw. Will he go for the continuation bet? Of course he does.
Well, indeed he does. He bets 110,000. Let's see what the Russian is going to do with second pair here. Remember, all these players have seen Kevin bet and play about every pot, yet he hasn't yet to show down a real hand. Well, he's going to make the call here.
Wow. Nice call.
So Constantine out front with the 2 8s. Here comes a turn card. 3 of spade comes off. That pairs the board.
And they both check quickly. Go into the river.
Well, 5 of clubs comes off, so potential flush out there now. Konstantin Puchkov has made a pooch bet of 50,000 into a pot that's got 400,000 in it. Yeah. A very small bet into that size pot. Well, you can see Kevin wondering why a guy would bet that small of a bet. Every time Kevin has tried to make a play against somebody at this final table, he has had his hand slapped.
Why so small?
Steady?
Why so small?
Oh.
Now the Russian speaks a little broken English. Now whether he understands what that means or not, I don't know.
The Russian probably speaks quite well. That is part of poker, lying to your opponents.
Kevin is going to lay it down. So Konstantin Puchkov, the Russian,
the amateur player, first time in America, takes the pot.
I like play any games. I like to bet on the horses. I like play ping pong. I like play poker. I am first time in America. First time. It's beautiful.
Remember Kirill Gerasimov, also from Russia, who finished second in the WPT Championship event one year. So they play poker everywhere now and play it well.
And Kevin Saul is now, believe it or not, at the bottom of the barrel with the chips tonight. He is the low stack and has lost pots to everyone at the table. All right, we are back in Las Vegas for the Bellagio Cup. 6 players remain, and Mike the Mouth Mattisau is the chip leader with over $3 million.
And what a turnaround of fortune we've seen in Kevin Saul. He came to this final table as the massive chip leader. He is now in 6th chip position. Wow.
Back to the table. It's going to be on the Shaniac Maniac. Mr. Schlegel, he's got a pair of deuces.
77.
Well, Vince, he's going to raise it here, but that might be because the 2 players on his left are gone. He's trying to buy position, so to speak.
Well, they ran off to the restroom, and now it's around to the Russian Constantine with the button. He's got king 9.
And in case you don't know, in tournament poker, breaks are designated at certain times. Certainly you can leave the table at any time, but while you're gone, blinds and aces continue to go in the pot. Constantine must be thinking that perhaps Shane made that raise because 2 guys are missing from this hand. He only has a king 9 offsuit. He's played very conservative so far. He's getting out chips, and indeed, he's coming over the top. He's going to make it $250,000 to go right here with the king 9 offsuit.
Yes, he does. Into the mouth, who's got a king 3.
Well, Vince, the only way he could play this in a pot that's been raised and re-raised is if he suspects both these guys are pulling a little larceny because of the 2 guys in the empty seats are gone. That's pretty much the case, in fact. But Mike does opt to get out. He rethought it. Said, look, I'm the chip leader. I don't have to gamble with this kind of hand.
Danny Wong going to fold his 10-7, so it's back on Shane with the pair of deuces.
Well, it's going to cost Shane another $173,000 to make this call. And the problem is, if you don't flop a deuce on this flop, what are you going to do if your opponent bets? Well, Shane has nearly $3 million in chips. His opponent started this pot with about $1 million. He's put $250,000 into the pot so far. Well, he's made the call. Forget about giving it up to him, Vince.
Jeez.
He wants to see a flop here. He wants to send the Russian back to the salt mines.
And here comes the flop, ace 8-3.
That's no help to Shane. He checks. And Constantine does not make the continuation bet. Checks right behind him. Now the 5 of diamonds comes off. Puts 3 diamonds on the board.
420.
Now Shane does not have a diamond in his hand. He only has 2 lonely deuces, but he's betting this not because of the strength of his hand, but because his opponent did not make the continuation bet on the flop. He doesn't put him on an ace. He's going to try to take this pot away from him, Vince.
That's $420,000.
I'm coming.
Into the Russian.
And I say that in case he puts his opponent on a pair of 6s, a pair of 7s, a pair of 9s, something like that. He's just hoping he can win the pot by betting it right here. Constantine with just a king 9 opts to give it up.
Well, he's saying to himself, you Americans, get me the heck out of this.
So Shane Schlager making a great bet on the turn to pick up that pot. But Vince, when the Russian re-raised pre-flop, you wonder, had he made a continuation bet on that flop, would he have won the pot?
We all look like
So Shane Schlager taking down that pot.
Think you're still gonna
And
be
Vince, you know, Shane likes Bob Dylan. And right now he's saying, the times they are a-changing because I'm a chip leader again.
Has good taste, liking Bob Dylan.
We know you ain't gonna be in. We told you that last night.
Let's go back down the table. It's going to be on Kevin Saul, the former chip leader.
It's all good. It's all good.
27 years old this time. He's got a jack 10 of diamonds.
He's got the suited connectors. And he's getting out some raising chips, it looks like. Indeed, he's staying aggressive. He makes it $72,000 to go. Pool man going out.
Now the Russian's got an ace 9 of clubs.
Well, he just got burnt the last hand with a king 9 offsuit. So what's he going to do with the ace 9? He's going to lay it down.
Yep, mouth quickly folding. Danny Wong now with a queen deuce in the small blind. Won't play that.
And now Shane Schlager has got the ace 10 in the big blind, and he quickly makes the call here. He's seen that Kevin's been marching with 2 right feet so far at this final table. So when a guy's steaming and on tilt, you like to play with him. And the flop comes 8-7-4 with 2 diamonds.
Well, Shane quickly checks, and what a massive drawing hand here for Kevin Saul.
Got the straight flush draw, and he's going to bet $100,000. Shane is coming over the top, making it $700,000 to go, just to try to take the pot away from him, because he knows his opponent is weak and wounded.
Well, he's got the overraise, too. It's an additional $600,000.
Now, Vince, it's virtually almost all of Kevin's chips here.
Looks like my luck has just run out.
If he should call and not get lucky, this would be the demise of the former chip leader here tonight.
Well, that's what's got to be running through his mind, Vince. He knows he came in as a massive chip leader. If he plays this pot and loses it, he'll be out in 6th place. And Vince, as many hands as he likes to play, hard to believe he would lay a straight flush draw down with 2 cards to go. These guys played a lot of poker together on the internet, so they feel like they know each other's games. Shane, of course, is hoping he goes away. Kevin looks down at his cards once again, and he's going to go with it, Vince.
Come on.
There they go.
It's not much more.
Reluctantly, but they all go in. And now he has put in more chips than Shane actually bet.
How much is it? Don't worry, you're probably getting doubled up.
They both got a piece of and they both shook their head. He said you're probably getting doubled up. He looked at it and he goes,
Just can't imagine you can lay down anything here for another 80,000 or so.
I call it, whatever.
And he does make the call.
There's ace high.
And he's going to love it, Vince.
Well, I have more outs than I thought.
He's got the best hand with the ace high right now.
Oh, wow. There's jack
Now,
high.
as the cards lie, Kevin Saul is actually a very slight favorite to win this pot.
But, you know, he hasn't caught lucky all night long.
I wasn't value betting.
Still having to catch here.
And Vince, if he loses this pot, we could be witnessing the biggest flameout in the history of the World Poker Tour. Right now, he's looking for a diamond or a 9.
The sick part is I know he's on air, just check raising me because I'm on tilt.
Which would cement this pot for him. A jack would give him the lead. Kevin Saul's tournament life on the line. Here's the turn card. And there's the diamond. And that does it. It's over. Finally, something for Kevin to cheer about here. He's over high-fiving his mom, his fans, his crowd. And believe me, this kid is happy to win a pot, Vince. He has doubled up.
You got to get some cameras on.
From near death and out of this tournament in 6th place.
It's too early for you to be out.
To hugs and high fives for everybody.
Well, finally getting lucky. Kevin Saul right there, hitting his flush.
Sick part was, Shane, I knew you were just...
Oh, come on, Kevin. You were desperate. You were 4 flushed and a straight. You had to go.
Why would what?
I'm surprised it took you so long to call.
That's all I'm saying. I'm just surprised it took you so long.
I mean, you haven't won a chip.
Mike, I'm a rookie. I just wanted to make sure.
I understand your thinking. You're thinking I already donked off of like $3 million. You want to make sure you didn't donk off the rest.
No one goes home yet. 6 players remain. Stay tuned. We're coming back with more action in just a few moments.
It's obviously very bad form to criticize someone's play at the table.
You play more like this idiot. I got them 2 idiots.
But the way Mike does it, I think it's totally fine for me.
That guy's done more with no talent than anybody in poker next to you is watching.
It's really just about the fact that he likes taking the piss out of people, and I'll actually laugh it off, and I think it's pretty funny.
You know what Ninod said? He goes, if Mike Madison calls you an idiot, that's a compliment. Shaniak, I'm not quite sure he has talent. I mean, he just plays so fast. He just never even thinks about folding. I mean, I watched a hand yesterday where he just stacked off so many chips to non-league. I couldn't have been drunk with no sleep and made a call like this.
Welcome back to the World Poker Tour. The Bellagio Cup 3 continues from Las Vegas. And right now, Mike Matusow, the chip leader, the mouth is wide open, taking chips down. Kevin Saul back to 1.7.
Kevin came to this final table with a massive chip lead. He could have been out in 6th place. He's now doubled up. Let's see if he gets back on track.
Back to the table. The Russian, who's the short stack at this point with about 700,000. Konstantin Puchkov, he lays down a 6-4.
Over to Mike Matusow. He lays down the 8-4 clubs.
Now Danny Wong from Southern California. He goes out, as does Shane.
Well, around to the small blind. Kevin Saul, he looks down at a Jack-7 offsuit. Feeling good right now because he just doubled up the last pot. He's going to limp in and make the call.
Don't be stealing Gavin Smith's song.
This is the advantage of not having an aggressive player sitting on your left, where you can make these calls without fear of being raised.
Eric also calling. Here's the flop.
Well, flop comes ace, queen, 9 with 2 diamonds. Here comes Kevin Saul. He's going to bet at this pot.
Still, I should have my head exam giving him chips.
Just has a Jack-7 offsuit, but going to try to pick the pot up right here by betting.
$40,000. He's saying no one raised before the flop. They don't have an ace probably or a queen. I'm going to try to steal this pot, but look at this.
Eric figured that out himself, Vance. He's called him with bottom pair here because he doesn't think Kevin has an ace or a queen in his hand, and that's exactly the scenario. So here comes the turn card. Well, the 4 spade comes off. 2 potential flushes out there now. Action on Kevin. And again, he's reaching for chips, Vince. And he's going to bluff at this spot a second time. He bets 80,000 here. Well, the amateur, Eric, is not going for it. He's made the call again with just 2 9s.
Solid play by the pool man.
Making great calls against him.
Good pot developing. The river card's the king of spades.
Potential flush, potential straight out there now. And 3 overcards to the 2 9s. And again, Kevin Saul is firing at this pot with nothing. Firing a 3rd shell, as we say.
He bet $200,000 and it's going to work.
Well, Eric can't stand the heat anymore. He had the right idea, Vince.
That's my first post-flop win that I wasn't all in.
So Kevin Saul finally gives his people something to clap about. He doubles up, and then he wins another little pot.
Well, smart bet by Kevin right there. Even though a spade hits on the river, you can kind of tell that Eric was not that strong. Didn't take a lot of time. Didn't think about a re-raise. So if you're reading into the player, you can understand that even when a spade comes up there, you can still bluff at this pot, and that's exactly what Kevin Saul did. Very nicely done. And his attitude has changed. He's a very happy chipper man now, getting to become happy-go-lucky again, starting to talk at the table.
Meantime, the action's on our chip leader, Mike Matusow.
And he's going to peek down at the Gretzky hand, 99, pair of nines. It's the hand he won a nice pot before against Kevin with. And yes, he is going to raise.
And makes it 75,000 to go.
Danny Wong, who's tightened up his game lately.
Fold.
King 8 of diamonds folds, as does Shane.
And around to Kevin Saul on the button. Pretty good hand here. He's got king, queen of spade.
And look at him staring across the table at the mouth.
He's going to make the call.
Just calls. Pool man going out, as does the Russian.
So once again, a pot between Mike Matusow and Kevin Saul. Mike with the 2 nines, Kevin with the king, queen of spade. Here comes a flop. 8-7-6 with 2 clubs.
Nice for Matusow. Overpair and a straight draw. He checks it.
He knows Kevin's a very aggressive player. He's going to give him a chance to take the bait and bet there. Kevin does not do it, though.
They both check. Kevin not falling into the trap. Here's the turn card.
A 4 comes off on the turn. Potential straight out there now. Again, Mike Matusow checks the overpair. Kevin fire here. Nope.
He's just not biting here. Nicely done by Kevin Saul not to be betting. Here comes, oh, look at this. It's a 5. So both guys have the straight on the board. But, of course, we know the mouth has the higher straight with the 9.
Well, he's going to reach out and bet here, Vince. It doesn't look like too big a bet. 100,000 into a pot with over 200,000 in it, and without even considering calling there when he's playing the straight on the board, Kevin lays it down.
Maybe you would go for it, man.
Oh, I know what you thought.
And look at this. Mike Matusow shows him the 2 nines.
You think.
Kevin said, I knew you had
It's the
that.
first time he's ever checked behind in 30 days.
No.
And I don't think he's ever done it twice.
I checked behind once yesterday.
Well, Mike Matusow a little befuddled at Kevin not betting there, but Vince, I believe Kevin feels like this is the one player at the table. Maybe he can't bluff out of a pot, so he's not going to waste any chips trying.
Why did Matusow show that hand? I mean, that's a great hand not to show. Make your opponent think you're trying to steal that little pot.
He had nothing left in the tank.
Which would have been a split.
I almost shoved pre-flop there.
He had nothing left in the tank. Now he's got smelling salts, and he's like, he ain't woozy anymore.
Hello, beautiful. Oh, yeah.
No one to play with. So play online at partypoker.com. It's fun, it's easy, it's the world's largest poker room.
You folding?
Have you got what it takes to be a WPT champion?
Log on to WPT on GSN.com and find out.
Welcome back to the Vegas Strip and the final table of Bellagio Cup 3. I'm Layla Cayley, and here's what's happened so far. As the night began at Bellagio, online superstar Kevin Saul seemed a lock to win a real-world title. But his world came crashing down as he stacked off chips to every opponent at the table.
This ain't the internet, son.
Can the new chip leader keep it together and capture his first WPT title? Will an amateur or pro take home the $1.3 million first place prize? And can an Internet King reconnect to his chip lead and walk away a real-life World Poker Tour champion? Now back to the guys in the booth, Mike and Vince.
Welcome back to the World Poker Tour. I'm Vince Van Patten alongside Mike Sexton.
Lines and antes still relatively small compared to all the chips on the table.
Mike Matusow, our chip leader with close to $3.1 million. He's going after a $1.3 million first place prize. Let's go down to the table.
Well, Mike Matusow would like to buy a few more of those pairs of nines. He's won a couple good pots with him here at this final table. That's the hand Phil Hellmuth is famous for. He won the main event at the World Series with that hand. Mike called Phil this morning, talked to him for 30 to 45 minutes on the phone to get some strategy on how to win this tournament. He's focused. He wants this one, Vince.
All right, back to the table.
78.
Shane looks down at ace-jack now.
And yes, he's going to pop it up.
That makes it 78,000 to go.
Kevin Saul right behind him with a 6 deuce of hearts.
Yet he is reaching for chips.
Oh, he is gaining confidence and madness, perhaps.
Raise.
Here he is coming over the top. He's re-raising here. Going to make it 290,000 to go.
Next to act, the pool man, Eric Paniotto, goes out. And now the Russian, Konstantin Puchkov, has big slick ace-king. Well, it is a raise and a re-raise. And the Russian with a big decision right now.
Even though he's on the short stack, you know, blinds are just 12 and 24,000, and he's got a lot of chips here.
Got to make a very tight lay down there. As the mouth right behind him, back on Shane. He shows an ace, and he's going to muck it.
Kevin outplaying both of them there. Got Konstantin to lay down ace-king, and Shane to lay down ace-jack.
When the Russian looks at this tape, he's going to say to himself, what happened?
So there's a case that Kevin feels like he knows his players. He says he's played a lot against Shane online. He feels like he knows when he can take a pot away from the guy. He demonstrated it right there.
The Soul man, Kevin Soul, looks down at a king 3 of hearts.
I'm starting to become convinced that this guy's some distant relative of Gus Hansen, because he fights for every pot, this guy.
Well, he's made it 85,000 ago, which is the king high. Eric the pool man goes out, but the Russian Konstantin with the button, he's got king jack of spades. He's going to call. Matisau going out.
And around to Danny Wong in the big blind. Danny just has a 5-4, but still there's about 240,000 in the pot. Going to cost him 55,000 more to make this call. And that's the beauty about making a call like this, is that if you get lucky and hit a flop with a 5-4, you have a good chance to win a big pot.
Oh yeah, it could be a nutcracker for sure. He knows that.
Well, Danny does make the call, so we've got three-way action here. And here comes the flop. The flop is queen 7-6. Danny has flopped an open-end straight draw. Action's on him, and he checks.
Yes. Kevin, nothing hitting there, but that's not going to slow him down. Chips are coming out at 150,000 with just king high.
Oh, Vince, this guy just puts relentless pressure on his opponents. There you see one guy getting out with the best hand.
Yeah, the Russian goes away, so back on Danny. Open-ended, though. Big possibilities here.
Maybe if I'm lucky, Shane, they don't use, like, the first level, and they just, like, start it from here out. So it just looks like I lost a few chips. I hope they show how bad I play. I'm proud of it.
The human Q-tip in deep denial.
And Danny is going to make the call. Doesn't re-raise here. So now we've got nearly 600,000 in this pot.
Will Danny get lucky? No, not right there. It's a deuce of clubs.
Well, no help to either player. Again, Danny Wong checks. Question is, will Kevin fire a second shell at this pot?
We know he just has a bologna sandwich for a hand. Just king high.
Well, we've seen him fire second shells and third shells with nothing here tonight. Will he do it here against this particular opponent, who's tough? Well, he checks, and reluctantly so.
Give a free card here for Danny Wong. Is it going to backfire? Here comes the river.
Well, the king of diamonds comes off on the river. This gives Kevin 2 kings. But Danny Wong's problem is he knows if he doesn't bet at this pot that he has 0 chance to win it with a 5 high.
Looking a little depressed there. Nothing hitting. He's saying to himself, now what do I do?
There's 600,000 in the pot. Do you make a stab at it with 5 high?
Or do you just wave the white flag and say, I'll lose this one?
Well, you don't know that your opponent's hit a king on the river. Well, Vince, win or lose this pot, you have to admire him if he bets out here because he's trying to win the pot. It's the only way he can do so. And he is trying because he's going to bet here $250,000.
Kevin Saul wincing. Does he give him the whining call?
Vince, I'd be shocked if he laid down 2 kings here.
Yeah, I think it's pretty automatic, but he's thinking about it. Look at Danny Wong. He's tipping that black cap over his face, trying to disappear, praying that his man goes away.
Man, I bet it's just small enough that I might be able to call.
Well, that's not what you want to hear.
Pay off your set of 7.
About 850,000 in the pot. Going to cost him $250 to call. There's no possible straight or flush out there.
Set?
Kevin does make the call, even though it seemed like a crying call, as you mentioned, Vince.
Nothing.
I called. I called. I called. I want to see.
Kevin is saying, I want to see the hand. That's really putting salt in the wound. You know, usually when you say, hey, I've got nothing, you can muck your hand in privacy and save yourself some embarrassment. But not Kevin Soul. He says, I want to see the hand.
I'm obviously not as good as you guys. I got to get whatever information I can. It's nothing personal, Danny. Having to choose between winning the title and winning the money, which one's more important? I don't really play for the money. I don't play for the title.
You're a sick boy. You know that, right, Fuzz?
I just play to put as many people on complete monkey tilt as possible on my way to winning the title.
We are back in Las Vegas for the Bellagio Cup 3. 6 players remain going after $1.3 million. And right now, Kevin Saul looking big in his cap once again. His chips are growing.
Now the guy went from dizzy and on the ropes to confident, and now he's going to be tough again.
Well, Vince, I would agree with that assessment by Mike.
I mean,
exactly.
Y'all a bunch of idiots.
I didn't plan on making it as easy as I tried to make it for you guys.
I didn't plan on you making it that easy for us, but...
Yeah,
I mean,
I brought my D game that first level.
I said, I knew he was going to give him away, but I didn't know he'd give him away that fast.
Right back on Q-tip.
Kind of shocked me. I mean,
Kevin Saul, 27 years old. This time he's got a hand, ace-jack, and he's going to jack up the pot, make it $85,000 to go.
My name is, right, Mike?
Eric out, the Russian out, the mouth out.
Just keep raising king 3 every hand, you'll be all right.
I was suited, Mike. I was suited.
Danny Wong has folded.
Shane Schlager with the king 9 of clubs is going to make the call out of the big blind. So these two guys playing a lot of pots together. They think they know each other's game very well.
Sorry, I'm just still getting used to this whole stage thing. I'm over my stage fright, but...
You're over the stage fright?
I'm over the stage fright that I had initially, but...
Shaniak got you over it?
Yeah, he helped me. That's what friends are for.
Kevin is now saying that he was a little nervous, had stage fright, but then again, so did Laurence Olivier.
Oh, well, we could see some fireworks here. Shane has flopped the nut flush draw. He checks it, but Kevin has finally flopped a hand. He's got 2 aces. And he's going to bet $120,000. Let's see what Shane's going to do now. He's just going to call with the nut flush draw. Many players would have re-raised right there.
Well, the Shaniak would love to hit the flush, but not to be there. It's a 6 of hearts. He has checked again.
Kevin is going to bet. Looks like $175,000 this time.
420.
Shane has check raised here on what we call a semi-bluff. He's made it $420,000 bet now. Another $245,000.
Where's your buck now?
Started the hand with 2.2 million.
Oh, Kevin, going back to that ploy, how many chips have you got?
So you have like 1.6 behind.
1.6, 7.
Even though he's got a hand here, his problem is if he makes this call, what does he do on the river? His opponent fires again big time at the pot.
How much more?
And yes, you have 2 aces. You thought you flopped something, but when you were called on the flop and check raised on the turn, all of a sudden one pair is starting to shrivel up.
Yeah, like him, Mike. It's not about being a calling station this time.
I'm not even paying attention. I know you both idiots, so.
Internet idiot.
And he's going to make the call, Vince. What a call here.
We'll find out at the end of the night which one of you two are the biggest idiots.
By Kevin Saul.
Very solid. Does not believe Shaniak right now.
Well,
Will Shane get lucky?
Yeah, he's praying for a club, but he got a king instead.
King.
And it goes check, check. Shane thought he might win the pot with 2 kings, but no. Kevin Saul is going to take it down with 2 aces. And Vince, incredibly, Kevin Saul, who came to this final table with a massive chip lead, and who went down to low man out of the 6 players and almost out of this tournament in 6th place, has once again climbed back up to where he's the chip leader.
He's back out in front with $3.1 million.
Hey guys, I'm here with Nancy Robertson, who is Kevin Saul's mother. Nancy, how excited are you right now? Because I heard you came from Chicago, right?
My husband and I flew in this morning from Chicago, and I'm a nervous wreck. It's like watching him play Little League baseball and pitching again.
Right,
You know,
right.
it's like I don't want to look, and then I want to look. And
What do you think makes Kevin so good at this game?
he's real good at statistics and
Okay.
real good at remembering numbers. He can remember what players he's played
Right.
against and how they played and everything. So.
All right, well, let's get back to the game and fingers crossed.
That's what I said. I can't pick on you no more, man.
All right, back to the money pit. It's going to be on the Russian player, Konstantin Puchkov.
You can still pick on.
No, not in front of your mom.
Enjoy it, Mike.
He's going to fold an 8-6.
Not in front of your mom.
Let's see what the mouth does. Mike Matusow.
Vince, he's played very conservative so far tonight. Here he's raising the pot with a 7-4. Makes it $86,000 to go.
Danny Wong out. Shane going to go out.
Lays down an ace-10, so he gives Mike a lot of respect there.
Kevin Saul, who plays anything, won't play his king-4. The pool man going away.
So Mike Matusow taking that pot down. And Vince, he won that pot because of the image he's created at the table so far tonight as a conservative, tight player, not fooling around, just playing good hands. Here's a case where once you create that image, you can take advantage of it. You can pick up pots like Mike just did there. If you want to win at poker, you have to take advantage of your image at the table. If everybody views you as being a real tight player, you have an opportunity to raise some pots to pick up some hands. If, on the other hand, you're like a Kevin, where they think you play any 2 cards, when you make a hand, you're going to get paid off.
All right, back to the action. Shane quickly folding his hand. Kevin Saul not going to play his 6-5. Around to the pool man, Eric Aniotu. And he's got a big hand. Ace-King, big slick.
Well, he is going to raise it. Makes it $95,000 to go.
Russian out. Mouth not going to play. And now Danny Wong in the big blind has an ace-3 of clubs.
Well, $164,000 in the pot. Going to cost him another $65,000 to make the call. But against a solid player, do you really want to call raises with an ace and a baby card?
Well, Danny wants to know how much you got left there. Wants to clean the pool out for good.
Garrett's got about $700,000 left.
He's not a professional player. He runs a swimming pool construction company.
About 600.
Lives in Thomas River, New Jersey, and he tells him he's got about 6 and change left.
But Eric does like to play WPT events. He's played 14 of them. It's his first final table. In fact, the first time he's made the money.
Danny Wong is going to speculate. He puts the chips in.
Well, he's going to gamble here. Try to get lucky and hit a flop. Let's see if he can do it.
Here come the first 3. Queen, 5 deuce, but 2 of them are clubs. Danny Wong with a big 4 flush, and he checks.
He's also got a straight draw.
And nothing really hitting for Eric. His big slick. Will he do the continuation bet and try to force Danny Wong out of this?
Well, if you raise before the flop, it's the kind of flop you are going to bet on.
50.
Because you assume if your opponent doesn't hit a queen, he's not going to make a call.
It's a $150,000 bet.
It is the best hand right now, but Danny has a big drawing hand, as we say, and I'll be surprised if he doesn't make a move here, Vince.
I'm all in.
He's going over the top, all in. I like this play by him. Even if his opponent has a queen in his hand, he's still got a lot of outs to win this pot.
Nice bet, Dan.
But as it is, the re-raise forces Eric out of this pot, even though he had the best hand. Danny Wong taking this pot down with a nice check raise on the flop there.
That is right, a check raise. Danny Wong playing him like Pong, taking down that pot. Renewed vigor for him. Welcome back to the World Poker Tour. Bellagio Cup 3 continues from Las Vegas. 6 players remaining. And Kevin Saul, the 27-year-old from Illinois, out in front with close to $3.5 million.
Maniac on the last break credit that I was shocked that he's playing that good.
Konstantin Puchkov is the short stack with $497. Let's go to the action.
You didn't do any such thing.
Well, maybe it has something to do with what you were saying, how good I was playing, and it just totally screwed with my game.
Danny Wong laying down the jack 4 diamonds.
Shane going out.
I didn't want you to change anything. You never
Kevin
play
Saul looking at a jack 7, but he won't play that. Eric going out as well, and now it's on the Russian. Battle of the blinds.
Konstantin looks down at a queen 5 offsuit, and he's going to limp in and make the call.
All right, let's see a flop.
And Mike Matusow with a queen 9 says, okay, you play peaceful, I'll play peaceful. Let's have a flop. Now the flop comes queen 6-4. Mike Matusow out in front, even though both players have flopped 2 queens because he has a higher kicker.
The Russian quickly checks, and Matusow coming in with a bet, $35,000.
Not a big bet. And I can't see Konstantin getting away from this hand, Vince. I just can't imagine you can get away from top pair when you're playing against the other blind.
Well, I think he thinks he's out in front, playing it tricky. Was not raised before the flop. You hit top pair. Gotta think it pretty good. He's down to his last ruples here.
He is going to make the call. So off to the turn we go.
The Russian looking over at the mouth.
Well, the 3 of hearts comes off, so potential straight and potential flush on the board now.
Konstantin with the open in the straight draw along with his queens. He's checked it, but the mouth is going to bet.
He's bet $225,000 into a pot that's only about $150,000. It's an overbet because he doesn't want his opponent drawing at a straight or a flush here.
The Russian says all in.
Well, Mike Matusow does not have a heart in his hand. He's got the best hand with the queen nine, and you've been check raised on the turn with a potential flush and a potential straight on the board. You're not happy with just one pair here. You know, you hate to put in over 200,000 more in case you're drawing dead here.
How much? It's only an additional 200,000, and he's so pot committed.
And I could be just stone dead here.
Well, he's exactly right about that. But he's made the call, and he's going to love it right now because he's out front with the queen nine. Look at him.
Baby.
You can see him squirm in his seat there as soon as Constantine turned over his hand. Now, Constantine still has a lot of outs to win the pot. He can win the pot with a 7, a 5, or a deuce. Anything else will win it for Mike Matusow.
Well, the problem with Constantine was he didn't bet out on the turn, go all in. Maybe Matusow could have laid down his queens at that point, but he check raised, and the amount that was raised isn't enough to knock out Matusow.
Well, Matusow felt he was pot committed with all the money that was out there for just another 200,000.
And the mild man from Russia spiked the card he needs. Otherwise, he'll be out. River card coming up.
Well, it's the 8 of hearts. So Mike Matusow is going to take down this pot. He's going to send the Russian back to Moscow. Now, Vince, you got to take your hat off to this guy. He got in this tournament by winning a $1,000 satellite. This is the first time he's ever been to the United States. Yet here he found himself at this final table. Terrific performance this week by Konstantin Puchkov.
He's going to take home $103,280. Not a bad rack of rubles going his way. And just like that, Mike, we are down to 5 here at Bellagio. Stay tuned. We're coming back for more action in just a moment. Keep up to date on World Poker Tour broadcasts on GSN.
At WPT on GSN.com.
We are back in the desert oasis known as Las Vegas, Nevada for the Bellagio Cup 3.
And we just lost Konstantin Puchkov from Russia.
And right now the chip leader is the mouth. Mike Matusow with $3.6 million.
Well, Vince, he's focused tonight. He knows we're playing deep stack poker. He's got time to wait for hands. He wants to take this title down. He thinks that's going to give him the best shot to do it.
Back to the green felt. It's going to be on Kevin Saul. Has about $3.6 million. This time he picks up an ace, queen of diamonds. And he's going to move it up to 85,000 to go. Eric, the pool guy, goes out. The mouth not playing.
Well, round to Danny Wong in the small blind. He's got the 10 deuce of hearts. Oh, lays it down.
But Shane Schleger going over the top with Big Slick. Ace King.
1.2 or 1.3.
All in for nearly $1.4 million.
Wow, I'm going to need an exact count.
Just a tremendous bet here.
There's $1 million.
Well, you talk about an overbet here.
Well, that's what Kevin Saul's wondering about now. You know, what kind of hand would this guy make this kind of raise with? If he had aces or kings or a strong hand, wouldn't he make a smaller raise? Wouldn't he want me in this pot to try to get some value out of it? Why is he going all in here?
And if you say to yourself, why is he doing that? He's a professional player. Doesn't he know better? Yes. And 90% of the time, he would make a $200,000 or $300,000 raise to get value. But this time, he's going to play it tricky and move around his game. Keep them guessing. Sometimes the overbet looks weak. And that's exactly what Kevin Saul is thinking. And it could work beautifully for Shane Schleger.
Why such the big overbet, Shane?
I think Shane is doing it to the right guy, too. He knows this guy is the one guy at the table that might call him just on ego alone and outfox himself.
You have a dilemma when you're sitting there when you have ace-queen suited in this situation. The only hand you're really fearful of, I think, is an ace-king.
This is not a call. I'm just separating it.
Well, you can see Kevin Saul, he's now getting out $1.3 million. He just wants to see how many chips he's going to have left in case he would play this pot and lose
137, right? 1,307,000. It'd be the first misstep I made at this final table.
Well, right now, Kevin Saul not enjoying it so much.
Danny, is that a stack of green behind you?
Yes, and Danny Wong, who's not even in the pot, how many chips he's got.
Right here?
Well, this is when you really know you're confused.
No, because the other chip
You
counts.
start asking about other chip counts, but let me tell you, you do that because you want to know exactly where you are.
Okay,
if you should lose his hand, how much is Danny going to have? How much is the mouth going to have?
My thinking is weird, Mike, but...
People think this sounds weird, but it's actually an okay question.
It's like just so unnecessary, like... Either of you guys, I could fold this real quick. No respect to Shane. I just played more.
No, I
played more with him.
Don't need to explain that to us. We already know that.
Shane knows I played more with him, which is...
Mike Matusow enjoying the pain of the other players.
You said you're full to these two guys?
Yeah, just because...
What you're basically saying
they're
is
so...
you're an idiot.
No, because they're so little in the pot. I played with you more, so there's a little more that I need to consider.
I really don't care. Just call or fold.
Well, Shane trying to act cool. He says, I really don't care if you call. Go ahead and call.
Oh,
wow, he's made the call.
This game thought it was jacks.
I thought it was queens.
Well, Matusow and the rest of the players can't quite believe it. It's ace-king versus ace-queen. We've seen many a man die on the World Poker Tour with the ace-queen. Now, Kevin won't die even if he loses this pot, but he'll take a big hit here.
Shane's the reason why Team S&D has ace-rag meetings.
Kevin Saul going to his friend Gavin Griffin, rationalizing why he made this call.
Well, you almost sense that Kevin got talked into calling that when Shane said, I really don't care if you call or not.
The Shaniac from Santa Monica, California, with a big opportunity right now.
Shane nearly a 3-1 favorite to win this pot.
Let's take a look at the flop.
Double pair the board.
It's come Jack 7-5.
Which is actually tremendous help.
But don't have a flush draw.
For Shane Schleger.
So right now for Kevin to win this pot, he's going to have to catch a queen to take the lead, 2 running cards to make a straight. Or if the board paired twice, he would get a split out of this pot. But right now, he is up against it. Well, it's not going to pair twice as the 6 of spades comes off. So we are down to the river. Kevin is going to have to catch a lucky lady to win this pot. Nothing else will do it for him. Shane Schleger in great shape to double up, and there he does it as the 7 of hearts comes off on the river. So Shane has done it.
Nice hand, Shane.
Thanks.
Yes, I believe it was the over bet, the all-in bet of over $1.3 million that confused Kevin there. He just couldn't figure out.
One courtesy double up deserves another one.
How a guy could bet that much money with a giant hand in that situation. He called him with the ace-queen of diamonds. Unfortunately for him, Shane had the ace-king and it stood up. And once again, Shane back in the driver's seat.
We play for big pots, small stakes, and the chance to say, read 'em and weep. For the weekends, the all-nighters, and the lunch hour. We play for the legends and for the unknowns who dream of winning it all. For the bad beats and the pocket kings we sometimes have the sense to fold. We play at FullTiltPoker.com.
Welcome back to the World Poker Tour. The Bellagio Cup 3 continues from Las Vegas. These players have gone back and forth like Joan Rivers to the plastic surgeon tonight, swinging up and down. And right now the chip leader is the mouth, Mike Matusow, with $3.6 million. Let's go back down to the table. It's going to be on Danny Wong. And he looks down at a 9-7 offsuit. He won't play that.
And Shane Schleger again picks up big slick, back to back here. This time he bets 88,000.
Kevin has picked up a queen 10 offsuit with the button.
Well, one thing you got to say about Kevin Saul, Vince, is he fights for every single pot. This guy just doesn't like to lay a hand down.
I still can't get over the cap. I mean, you could stick a watermelon on that thing.
Well, he's going to make the call.
Panayiotou going out. And the mouth is not going to play his 9-5.
Well, once again, it's the same 2 players fighting it out, Shane Schleger and Kevin Saul. And Vince, the other 3 guys just content to sit back and let them duke it out. Flop comes Jack, deuce, deuce, no help to either player. Shane checks the ace-king here.
The razor is going to check. He's going to yield to Kevin. And Kevin, the door open, is going to bet 128,000.
Well, he just shows no mercy ever. Just relentless on his attack. Fires out here again with just the queen eye.
I'll let you have it, Kevin.
Well, Shane's going to lay down the ace-king here. And, Vince, I got to tell you, I'm a little surprised he wouldn't make the continuation bet there himself and see what happens.
He just slowed down. Just basically gave up the hand.
Ace-king was good, yes?
I don't know what the turn and river were.
No, I'm just curious about the flop.
Well, he almost went out in 5th place a moment ago. He was all in.
Yep.
He won the pot. He moved up to 2nd place in chip count. He just didn't want to gamble there with just the ace-king. Opted to lay it down. But credit Kevin Saul for winning that pot by staying aggressive and betting.
Kevin quickly folding. The pool man drowning a little bit. He gets out of the way.
Around to Mike Matusow. Now he's on the button, in position, got the chip lead, has a Jack 9 offsuit, and is going to raise it. Makes it 87,000 to go.
Going to try to steal the blinds with a junk hand, but not so fast. Danny Wong's picked up a wired pair of threes.
Well, when you get a small pair, you always want to see a flop in hopes to flop that set. The three of a kind where you could win a monster pot. But some guys like to come right over the top of the small pair and just try to win the pot right away and not worry about the flop.
You talk about a good poker face. You just don't know where Danny Wong is. Never showing any emotion.
Well, Vince, I think this guy's a terrific poker player. I really like the way he plays. I think we're going to see a lot more of him out on the World Poker Tour.
Well, there he goes. He is going to make the call. And now Shane with a king 4 of spades.
Well, a lot of money out there. 224,000.
Joking, boys.
So he's going to make the call, too. So we're going to have three-way action here. Mike Matusow saying, geez, did I really have to raise with this hand?
That's what you get for stealing your blinds sometimes. Well, here's the flop, but it's a good one for the mouth.
Yes, it is. He's flopped top pair, so he went from the worst hand to the best after the flop. Action's on Danny. He checks. Shane checks right behind him. Now Mike Matusow, who was just trying to bluff this spot originally, now has the best hand with the two jacks, and he's going to bet 225,000.
Danny Wong uncapping his cards. Deeply disappointed. He's going to let this one go. Shane can't play, so just like that, the mouth is going to gobble up the chips.
Well done, Mike.
I was just joking. I flopped the joint.
Two pair?
I jacked.
Did you?
Mike said he had Jack 10 when in fact he had Jack 9, but essentially the same hand.
You know, Mike's been through a lot in life, so he's entitled to be one card off every now and then.
Welcome back to the World Poker Tour. We're at Bellagio. 5 players left in the Bellagio Cup. 3 right now. The current chip leader, Mike the Mouth Matusow.
Yeah, the mouth is eating them up here right now. He's got chips. He's got confidence. Let's go back down to the table.
He's been to 2 WPT final tables, finished 3rd and 2nd. Certainly respected by all the top players in the world. They all think he goes on tilt a little bit, but I'm telling you, he is one tough poker player.
Back to the table. It is on Shane the Shaniac Maniac Schlager. He's got a wired pair of 4s, midlife crisis, 44. He's going to raise with it.
Comes in for 88,000.
Kevin Saul with a king 10 offsuit. His old nemesis here.
It just seems like he goes out of his way to play pots with Shane. He is going to raise. He's coming over the top with a king 10 offsuit after the guy under the gun raises the pot. 256,000. Eric Paniotu goes out.
And the mouth going out. Danny Wong won't play as well.
What's the amount more?
Shane's just got 2 4s. And the question is, does he want to make the call? Does he want to come back over the top with a re-raise? Or does he want to just get away from the hand? He's going to make the call, Vince, with the 2 4s. Wants to see a flop. Obviously, is just praying that a 4 comes out there. And just get Kevin out of his way permanently.
Will Shaniac hit? Nope, not to be. King 9-3 on that flop. Top pair there for Kevin, and he's going to check. They both have checked.
What a sly check there by Kevin. A daring check, I might add.
A 5 of diamonds on the turn, helping either player.
But he knows his opponent. He saw him do this before. Every time he checks on the flop and his opponent checks, Shane bets on the turn. The way this hand was played, he's got to think his opponent's got something like ace-10, ace-jack, ace-queen.
280.
So he's going to bet here.
Yeah, $280,000 worth.
Now let's see what Kevin's going to do with top pair. I mean, that's a daring check to make on the flop. Your opponent might have a queen-jack with a straight draw. Could have an ace in his hand where an ace would pop off, or had that 5 been a 4, Shane would have made 3 4s on the turn here. But nevertheless, Kevin was willing to gamble in an effort to pick up a few more chips, and here comes Shane betting 280,000. See what Kevin's going to do.
Well, he's getting chips out in front of him.
Raise.
He's going to raise here. He's coming right over the top of Shane here.
It's the old double raise, the exact same amount that was bet. He's going to move it up another 280,000 to make it 560 to go.
Raise, but okay.
Well, Shane does lay down the 2 4s. So Kevin's timing perfect on that hand. Lured him into betting that pot on the turn. because he checked on the flop, Vince.
That's the beauty of position, too. If you have position on your man, you can make the moves.
This kid is not afraid to play, Vince, and not afraid to give his opponent a free card that might beat him.
No, he is willing to gamble, put himself out there. His mom, Nancy Robertson, in the audience. Gavin Griffin with them. They are so excited. I mean, he was so close to elimination here tonight. He caught the flush on the turn, way back, and he hasn't looked back since then.
Well, Vince, I'm sure our audience was very concerned that this guy was going to go out in sixth place after having a big chip lead, and they would have thought he'd been a complete idiot had he done so. But
no, it's on me.
When you watch this guy play, you can see the skills that he brings to the table and why he's led this tournament at the end of each day.
How often do you just see me fold in this tournament, Jack?
He has picked up the atom bombs, the pair of aces.
Now, Vince, the great thing about an aggressive player is that when you pick up two aces, nobody ever believes you have them.
Well, he's made it 85,000 ago, and when he did that, he said, how many times have you seen me fold? He's trying to pretend like he's coming in with a bad hand. Interesting talk, but both Eric and Mike have gone out.
Well, action is on Danny here. Now, he just has an 8-5 offsuit. But, Vince, he's seen this guy play virtually every pot tonight. You know a guy can't have a hand every time.
Well, Danny has no hand this time, 8-5. So you're going to buy into that table talk that Kevin just gave him.
Question is, do you want to gamble and call this hand, try to make a flop? No, he's going to re-raise it here. And it looks like another 200,000. He's come over the top. Unfortunately for him, he's picked the wrong time to do it.
What a horrible time to do it. Shane getting out of the way. Now back to Kevin. His dream coming true before his very eyes.
Which one?
Now he can see that after that raise, Danny has just over $1 million left. He's trying to figure out how to get it all in before the flop here.
Let me just get my chip stacked.
And now he wants to stall as much as he can. Let me get my chips stacked properly before I have this big decision. The absolute dream scenario. Guy re-raising you.
Well, Danny Wong sitting over there saying, please, Kevin, just get out of here. Go away. Let me have a pot.
1.15?
That's not going to happen, Danny.
It's weird. Everybody has to always count down. I know he has 1.5. I know you have 2.4, and I know he has like 2.8.
Dude, I'm the internet donkey.
Kevin keeping the conversation with the mouth going on.
Well, Vince, here's where I think Mike gets out of line at times. These guys are playing for over $1.3 million. Just dummy up and let them play the hand.
Come on.
Kevin says, I'm going all in. He hopes Danny has jacks, queens, or kings, of course.
He hopes he has anything. Just play. Please play. Doesn't matter what he's got. And folks, there's no way Danny Wong is going to put his last $1.1 million in this pot on a call pre-flop with an 8-5 offsuit. Just not going to happen. This hand is going in the muck.
Well, it's saving face time right now. A dismal time to make a move. He took his shot. Poor Danny Wong. And finally, yes, he mucks his hand.
Well, Vance, that's a play that would have worked many times here tonight. Unfortunately for him, his timing was off. This time, Kevin Saul had the goods and takes down the pot.
Kevin Saul with a rocky road tonight. He has been on a roller coaster, but right now he's on top. He is our chip leader. Stay tuned. We're coming back with more action here on the World Poker Tour.
Good enough to play in the World Poker Tour? Find out online right now at WPT on GSN.com. Welcome back to Las Vegas. We're here at Bellagio looking to crown our very next WPT champion. The cards are in place. Let's get back to the game.
Blinds are going to be 20 and 40,000.
Our current chip leader is Kevin Saul. He's got a little over $3.9 million in chips on the short stack right now. The only amateur at the table, Eric Paniotu, who only has a little over 300,000 left, Vince, and you just think he's got to make a move quickly if he's got any hopes of winning this tournament. Here he looks down at a Jack-10 of spade.
Just like that, he says all in with his short stack.
Well, I like this play, Vince. He's got to make a move. He's still got enough chips where you might scare your opponents out. Mattisau and Danny Wong going out. Shane out as well.
Only one to beat is going to be Kevin, but he's got Big Slick.
Oh,
and he says, I'm going to call, of course.
Vince, Kevin Saul has picked up a big duke here. He's got ace-king.
Oh, it's a great spot for you.
But even with the ace-king, he's still only about a 60% favorite.
I didn't win yet.
To win this pot.
We have to see the other 5 cards first.
So Eric Paniotu's tournament life on the line right here.
Good luck, Eric.
All right. Eric, originally from Cyprus, 50 years old, now lives in Toms River, New Jersey. Owns a swimming pool construction company.
The pool man is on the diving board right now. Jack-10 up against ace-king. Will he survive? Got in on a $1,000 satellite.
And he's certainly going to get a great return on his investment no matter what happens here tonight.
5 cards to come. Let's take a peek.
Oh, a 10 right in the door.
Oh, he's caught a good one.
Eric has taken the lead here with 2 10s. He is now out front. And right now, he's a little over a 4-1 favorite to win this pot, Vince.
Yes, he is. Kevin just shrugging there. What can you do? Here comes the turn card.
Well, the 5 of spade comes off.
Turn card.
Well, it's a good card because it gives Eric a flush draw and takes the king of spade away from Kevin to win this pot. And remember, we saw Danny throw away the ace of hearts and Shane throw away the king of hearts.
Actually, we want an ace because every.
So we're off to the river. Kevin looking for an ace or a king. And he gets it. Ace of diamonds pops off. Wow. With 1 card to go, Eric Panayiotou was well over a 90% favorite to win this pot. Unfortunately, Lady Luck not smiling on him, but he's a good sport. Handshakes all around. A good week for Eric, but out tonight in 5th place.
Well, he is completely stunned. The pool man's pump finally broken as he walks away. The 5th place, going to make $154,920. Eric has to say goodnight, and just like that, we are down to 4 players at Bellagio.
And Vince, these are the 4 guys you would have expected to fight it out for this title. The guys who went out in 6th and 5th place were the 2 short stacks, the 2 amateur players. They're gone. We're down to 4 young guys fighting it out for this crown.
Who is going to take down the $1.3 million first place prize and earn the WPT title? Join us next time for the conclusion of WPT's Bellagio Cup 3.
Next time on the World Poker Tour.
Kevin, he's incredibly reckless, and he just gave away $4 million in chips.
How am I still alive? You just don't raise me and I fold like that Phil Hellmuth. Hey, Phil.
He's like a time bomb. Someone like that who's power flushed all those chips away will power flush them away again.
Might just squeak in a second.
Anything less than first, I'm going to go kill myself.